I'm sure every Pokemon fan has imagined what it would be like if Pokemon existed in the real world. Having one as a pet, a companion, maybe flying one to work, or how about fighting one? A good work friend of mine and I used to discuss which Pokemon we could realistically beat in a fight. Mostly as a joke, but we would get pretty in-depth with our reasons. We took the hypothetical very seriously for some reason. Yeah, we got bored a lot, but it got me thinking, which Pokemon could I beat in a fight? Today, we're going to be doing a bit of power scaling, me versus every Pokemon. Not all at once! Okay, here's our ground rules. Rule 1. I'm a normal human, so we're going to assume I'm a normal type. That may not seem too important, but it's for type matchups. Keep in mind, I'm 6'1" and about 155 pounds, so pretty average, you could say. You could just as easily imagine this video as average human versus every Pokemon if you'd like. Rule 2. We're going to assume each fight is a cage match and indoors. Otherwise, I would lose to, literally every flying type, so we have to make it fair. Rule 3. Should the movesets come into question, we're going to make things really easy and use their Pokemon Stadium movesets. Rule 4. We're going to be considering a lot of factors for each matchup. The Pokemon's height and weight, base stats, moveset, dex entries, all kinds of things. We're also talking about base forms only. No Megas, Gigantamax, regional forms, nothing like that. Just their basic forms. I'm also going to be placing each Pokemon in a tier on a tier list based on how well I think I do against them. The tiers will be defeat it with ease, probably could, maybe, no chance, and guaranteed death. I think all the names are pretty self-explanatory. Now, needless to say, we're not going to be covering every single Pokemon. We're just going to start with Gen 1, and if I enjoy making this video, I'll do the other gens, but that's for another day. That's basically all the important info, so stick around. Things are going to get interesting. There's going to be laughs. Chills. And twists? I would absolutely beat Mewtwo. All in this exciting episode of... I don't know. My channel.
Let's get this party started.
Okay, Bulbasaur is trickier than you might think, but it's still no major challenge. It would have Toxic, which is a little tricky. I still think my chances are pretty good. I think if I get 1 or 2 good moves in, it's down for the count. I think I defeat it with ease. Ivysaur is a similar beast. Like literally. Naturally, it's bigger and it has better stats, but we're going to follow a very similar idea. My main strategy would be dodging sleep powders while tanking Razor Leafs. It has some impressive moves, but it's approximately the height and weight of a human 4-year-old. And I could definitely beat a 4-year-old in a fight. So I'm going to say I probably could. It would definitely be tougher than Bulbasaur, but I think I could pull it off. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm not beating a Venusaur. It's 6'7" and 220 pounds. That's as tall as Kawhi Leonard and as heavy as Mike Tyson in his prime. Although its stat distribution leans more towards special defense, and I would obviously be a physical attacker, what would I do against this beast? Even if I got a few good hits in, I feel like it'd barely budge. It'd be like fighting a hippo. You know, just not as scary. I don't think it would kill me, but there's no chance I'm beating it. Sorry, but Charmander's a cakewalk. Look at this dex entry from Pokemon Y. Its life would end if the flames were to go out. Yeah, I'm beating it with ease. Even if I didn't have to put out the tiny fire on the tail, this little bastard is 18 pounds. Worst case scenario, I'm applying aloe vera on my legs for a few weeks. Unfortunately, all it takes is one evolution and I don't stand a chance. Seismic Toss, Counter, Flamethrower. On top of that, it says its tail burns at an unbearably high temperature, and it slashes with sharp claws. Charmeleon's a dirty fighter. I feel like it would pull no punches. Even if I do get a few good blows in, I think that would only make it angrier. I'm not beating that thing. Absolutely zero chance. Its fire breath is hot enough to melt boulders. Do you know how hot something has to be to melt a boulder? I don't know, but probably pretty hot. It would melt me down to the bone. One flamethrower and I'm dead, so my strategy doesn't matter too much anyway. Squirtle's tricky. He's not too strong, but he does have the benefit of a shell. He can't hide in that forever, though. The scariest moves he would have would be Surf or maybe Blizzard. Although if Squirtle is anything like a real turtle, his bite is nothing to laugh at. I still think my size advantage would net me the win. I might leave with a few nasty bites and a very damp shirt, but I think I could beat Squirtle. I mean, it's just Squirtle but bigger. I'd like to think I'd have a good shot against it, but it does have better moves than Squirtle. I mean, it has Rest. I'm still at a great height advantage, however. I'm sure a Body Slam or two could weaken it significantly. This one's hard to say. I'm putting it at a maybe. I could see this one going either way. Okay, Blastoise. Let's see. Base 100 defense, 188 pounds, water capable of punching holes in solid steel. Let's not waste anybody's time. I'm dead. Okay, let's give it a fair shot. Its moves are... Its stats are... Its dex entries... Okay, no. I would defeat it in seconds. I think a single stomp would do the trick. Oh no! A Metapod! What's it gonna do? Harden me to death? Yeah, no. A stomp or a body slam would do the trick. Maybe a few if it decides to harden. Okay, at first, I thought I could easily defeat a giant butterfly, but I don't know. After reading these dex entries, I'm having second thoughts. I don't like the sound of highly toxic dust being released into the air. I suppose I could just cover my mouth and hold my breath. It does have some tricky moves for me to worry about, but its defense stat is pretty bad. A few good hits would knock it out, but I definitely have to be careful. Weedle has a worse defense stat than Caterpie. It does know Poison Sting, which changes things a little bit, but it still only has 15 base power and a measly 30% chance of poisoning me. Yeah, I'd body a Weedle. Same as Metapod. It has little to no offensive capabilities. Almost too easy. How hard could it be to fight a giant bee? Well, not too hard. Once you get around the 3 giant stingers, the flying at high speed, and secreting the most powerful poison. Yeah, that would not end well for me. Or anyone. Pidgey is a bird. A tiny-ass bird with no powers. I could probably beat 5 Pidgeys at once. Now, Pidgeotto is a different story. It's bigger and has better moves and stats. In terms of size and stature, it's similar to a small hawk. I'm no bird expert, but I don't think I can beat a hawk. I don't see it happening. Oh, awesome. Pidgeotto, but bigger and stronger. I'm already not beating a Pidgeotto, so what makes you think Pidgeot would be a different story? Rattata is pretty similar to a normal rat, both in combat and abilities, but it is noticeably larger than a real rat. So the question basically boils down to, could I beat a big rat? I'm gonna say yeah, definitely. It might be a little bit hard to catch, but a few good hits and this rat is history. We went from a big rat to a huge rat. It has some threatening moves like Hyper Fang, and its highest stat is speed. It's 40 pounds and way faster than me. I'm sure it'd go down after a few body slams, but the problem is it might be difficult to land even one. I'm putting this as a maybe. Doesn't seem impossible by any means, but it may prove to be quite a challenge. I definitely wouldn't want to mess with those chompers. Hey, what do you think Raticate would look like with braces? Yeah, that's pretty funny. Now this answer is not as simple as Pidgey because Spearow is scarier than Pidgey. Better attack, speed, plus it has Drill Peck to worry about. That being said, they're both the tiny bird Pokemon and Spearow still comes in at 1 foot tall and 4 pounds. I could beat it, but I feel it could put up more of a fight than Pidgey. Now Fearow is a different story. Stature-wise, it's most comparable to a large turkey, only with a way bigger and sharper beak. Right off the bat, I'm not feeling great about this one. It definitely isn't too hefty, so my best strategy may be to jump it and weigh it down. If it has to get close to me to attack anyway, I may as well use that to my advantage. I could see this going either way. I'm gonna say maybe. Okay, Ekans is a little scary. It knows acid, which is a hide-melting liquid. If it spews that out, that would be immensely painful and may even win at the fight. However, its defense and HP stats are pretty bad. I don't know, the acid thing is kind of throwing me off. I'm gonna say maybe. Oh, it's just bigger Ekans. How bad can it be? Well, let's see. According to its dex entry in Ruby Sapphire Emerald, its constricting power is so strong, it could flatten steel oil drums. Escaping is impossible. It would break every bone in my body and kill me within minutes, and probably enjoy doing it. I would die, no question. Okay, Pikachu is a beast. Its Dex entry in Emerald says it can essentially unleash a lightning bolt on me. While a lightning bolt isn't guaranteed to kill you, it totally can. Plus, Pikachu is really fast and hard to hit. It has static, so even if I do hit it, I may get paralyzed. Overall, I see my victory here as extremely unlikely. I'm gonna make this simple and easy. Humans have been recorded to die with as little as 42 volts of electricity. An electric shock of 42 volts for even 2 seconds could kill you. Raichu can produce up to 100,000 volts of electricity. I think we all know what tier he belongs in. Now, Sandshrew's greatest strength is its defense. It has base 85 and it can apparently roll up in a ball for protection. Its Dex entries don't really comment on its offensive capabilities, but its Alpha Sapphire entry says it has a dry hide that's extremely tough. When it does come time to fight, it does have some decent moves, but it's still really little and not that threatening. I think I could probably beat a Sandshrew. Now when it evolves, it becomes more of a maybe. Sandslash is pretty scary both in terms of offense and defense. It can attack while rolled up in a ball like it's Sonic or something. And its moveset in general is pretty scary. That being said, it's only 65 pounds and not that fast, so I could see it happening. Then again, a few digs and I might be down for the count. I'm gonna put this as a maybe. Both Nidorans are nearly the same, so we're just gonna bunch them together. You may think Nidoran would be easy, a few stomps and we're good, right? Oh, if only it were that simple. Several Dex entries say that its poison is so potent, even a tiny scratch could be fatal. I want to give myself a shot, but all it needs is one scratch and I'm dead. Scratch is even one of the first moves it learns. There's something kind of embarrassing about saying I'd lose to such a low-level Pokemon, but the thing about power scaling is it's all about objectivity. In regards to Nidoran, it's like fighting a porcupine. Already a terrible idea, but when its quills are fatally poisonous, I am dead. Like, dead. It's a bigger, stronger version of the Pokemon we just established would probably kill me. So, you guess. The Queen and King are quite obviously the scariest of them all. Nidoqueen's Dex entry claims it can literally send foes flying with harsh tackles, while Nidoking uses its powerful tail to smash, constrict, and break the prey's bones, with horns hard enough to pierce a fucking diamond. I'm not winning against any of the Nidos. No question about it. Clefairy doesn't have too much going on for it offense-wise. Even its Dex entries just talk about how cute and popular it is. Plus, it's only 16 pounds and 2 feet tall. Sorry, but I'm hitting Clefairy with the DDT. It has bulked up to 88 pounds and it's 4 feet tall now, but I still think I could pull it off. Clefable isn't too bad as far as defense and HP is concerned, and it has some decent moves, but again, I feel like I could probably pull it off. Fire types are always a little scary, but defense-wise, Vulpix is nothing to be afraid of. It's still little and not that scary. I'm gonna say I probably could. The Ruby Dex entry says it can gain total control over its foe's mind. It can do that? Between that and Flamethrower, I wouldn't put money on this one. I'm saying no chance. Plus, if I even touch one of its tails, I'll be cursed for 1,000 years. So how does that work? Will the curse remain after I die, or do I pass it on to my kin? Now that would make a very uncomfortable story. Jigglypuff may not have very many good moves, but it can put me to sleep. That could be an issue because I'm a certified snoozer. It has impeccable HP, but its defensive and offensive capabilities are abysmal. Even if it does put me to sleep, what is it gonna do? I'm gonna say I probably could. That being said, if it hits a rest, it's over for me. Yeah, you're gonna find that a lot of Gen 1 Evos are just a bigger version of the previous form, so it's hard to think of something unique to say. I'm putting it in the same tier as Jigglypuff. They're really not too different. Who hasn't wanted to deck a Zubat when they've encountered their 5 trillionth one in Mount Moon? Luckily, it would be quite easy. They're little as hell, they have garbage stats, and the scariest move is either Double Edge or maybe Mega Drain. I'm confident I can knock a few Zubats out. Golbat is a lot scarier. It's 5'3" and 121 pounds, so it's huge as far as bats go. And just look at these Dex entries. It will not stop draining energy from the victim, even if it gets too heavy to fly. Its fangs easily puncture even thick animal hides. It loves to feast on the blood of people and Pokemon. So right away, I'm screwed. I could easily die of blood loss fighting this thing. It has the aerial advantage, it has well-rounded stats, huge blood-sucking fangs. Yeah, no, I'm dead. Oddish does learn Toxic, which could be problematic, but it's still an Oddish at the end of the day. It can't do too much. I want to give it a shot, but it's so little and helpless. It doesn't even have arms. Yeah, I'm beating it with ease. Now, I was actually a little scared of Gloom. I thought this drool was poisonous. Only it isn't drool at all. It's a nectar used to attract prey. First of all, nasty. Second of all, yeah, I could beat a Gloom. Its moves are kind of scary, but it's short and it's only 19 pounds. I don't see it giving me any trouble. I don't know, 311 and 41 pounds seem doable, until I read the dex entries. In seasons when it produces more pollen, the air around a Vileplume turns yellow with the powder as it walks. The pollen is highly toxic and causes paralysis. Vileplume has the world's largest petals. They are used to attract prey that are then doused with toxic spores. Once the prey are immobilized, this Pokemon catches and devours them. I never knew how scary Vileplume was. I'm already allergic to regular pollen. I don't want to think about Vileplumes. Paris? I don't know. It has Spore, yeah, but it's so tiny. Even if it puts me to sleep, what is it gonna do after? I'd probably wake up after a few hits. It really isn't all that scary. I'm gonna say I probably could. Now, Parasect is a little trickier. It also has Spore, but it's bulked up to 65 pounds. Believe it or not, I'm still not that scared. It has decent defense, but I could see myself pulling it off. I'm gonna say I probably could. It says that poison oozes all over its body. First of all, that's frickin' nasty. Second of all, it's closer in height and weight to Parasect than I would have guessed. Only its defense is significantly worse. I'm gonna say I probably could. I would have said with ease, but the psychic moves it learns may give it a bit of an edge. I don't know. Highly toxic dust, 411, solid moveset. This one could be tricky. Only because it's essentially like fighting a giant moth, which I feel like I could do in real life, should the situation arise. I'm gonna say maybe. The dust it unleashes isn't just toxic, it's highly toxic. Plus it can fly, so yeah, maybe. Hey, you guys ever play Whack-A-Mole at Dave & Buster's? Diglett is 8 inches tall and not even 2 pounds. Add on to that base 25 defense and base 10 HP, I can't think of a single reason why Diglett would give me a hard time. Like, yeah, it can dig underground, but it can't stall all day. It's not Brawl Meta Knight. Okay, this is just unfair. 3 against 1, and they're triplets. I think the only way to make this fair is if I'm allowed to get my siblings to help out. If we all team up, that Dugtrio doesn't stand a chance. Okay, jokes aside, Dugtrio is obviously scarier. It's up to 74 pounds, and it has access to moves like Dig and Hyper Beam. Plus, base 120 speed is nothing to scoff at. Forget Diglett, this one would be the true Whack-A-Mole challenge. Dugtrio is surprisingly intimidating, but I could see myself pulling it off if I get lucky. Alright, let's check this dex entry. It loves anything that shines. It loves anything that sparkles. Me too, kid. It does have moves like Scratch, but I've been scratched by my real cat a million times, so I have to have some kind of an immunity, right? Its best stat is easily the base 90 speed, but aside from that, it doesn't have a whole lot going on. Yeah, I'm gonna say I probably could. Worst case scenario, it does what it does in Smash Bros, but that just seems more annoying than anything else.
I'm here on the scene.
Persian has base 115 speed, and when you look at its size, it's similar to a mountain lion. Not exact, but it was the closest one I could find. You could also compare it to a lynx. Big problem though. I'm not beating a mountain lion or a lynx in a fight. I don't think it'd kill me, but it's still not happening. Okay, totally off topic, but how come Psyduck isn't a psychic type? I know I'm not the first person to say this, but look at these dex entries. Uses a mysterious power, the only time it can use its psychic power, always tormented by headaches, uses its psychic power. It literally is named Psyduck. Oh, right, the fight. Yeah, I'd body a Psyduck. It's only 2'7" and 43 pounds. Those psychic powers might be a problem, but it doesn't have very good control of them yet, so we're fine. So a strong majority of Golduck's dex entries just say what a great swimmer it is. It doesn't even mention it fighting. So if this video was which Pokemon could I beat in a swim meet, I wouldn't stand a chance. I suck at swimming. It has base 95 special attack, and it still isn't a psychic type. Its stadium moveset doesn't even include any psychic type moves. This is a tricky one. I'm gonna put this at a maybe. Based on the dex entries, it seems like Mankey has some serious anger problems. It says it flies into an uncontrollable frenzy. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that normally, but it's only 1'8" and 61 pounds. It does have some decent moves like Seismic Toss. I want to say this would be easy, but we established I'm a normal type, so I'm at a type disadvantage here. I'm gonna put this at a maybe too. Oh, it is not happening. Base 105 attack, moves like Rock Slide and Low Kick will beat up anyone who makes it mad. And let's not forget, I'm at a type disadvantage. Fighting a Primeape is like letting a bunch of babies operate the rides at an amusement park. It's a bad idea. No chance. Aside from a decent moveset, I don't have a whole lot to worry about. It's small, has a base 45 in defense, and it's just not that scary. Now Arcanine is a different story. 6'3", over 300 pounds, base 115 in attack. It has Takedown and Fire Blast. Let's be serious for a second. It is not happening. Would you fight a dog that's the size of a lion and also it has fire powers? No, because you're not an idiot. I'm guessing. Absolutely no chance. It's a Poliwag. It's only 27 pounds, and the dex entry suggests it can barely even walk on land. I'd almost feel bad fighting one, it'd be way too easy. Alright, let's see these dex entries. The swirl on its belly subtly undulates. Staring at it may gradually... Wait, hold on. What the hell does undulate mean? Undulate, a verb. Move or go with a smooth up and down motion. That's a great word. How come I never knew that word? Oh wait, yeah, the fight. Yeah, I could beat Poliwhirl. It put up more of a fight, sure, but it's only 44 pounds and weirdly it has more points in physical attack. I'd say I probably could. By the way, on a side note, can we talk about how awesome Poliwhirl's early sprites were? I mean, in its red and blue sprite, it's one finger away from giving you the bird. And its silver and crystal sprite is just amazing. It reminds me of that one M&M picture. Man, I'm gonna kick this Poliwhirl's ass. Poliwhirl, use Anthrax! Wait, what? This one is harder to say than I thought it would be. It does have some good moves, and I am at a type disadvantage, but he's only 119 pounds and 4'3". Similar to Golduck, its dex entries mostly say what a good swimmer it is. If it's anything like its previous evolutions, its swirly middle part is thin and is probably a weak spot. If I can get to that, I think I could pull it off. I'm gonna say maybe, because it is a little scary. One Hypnosis followed by a Hydro Pump, and I might be done. So yeah, we're saying maybe. Abra sleeps 18 hours a day and can only learn Teleport. What do you think? I'll just give it a mean look and boom, done. Bodied. Hold on. Kadabra can give people headaches? No, not happening. I can barely write my own name when I have a headache. Also, it has base 120 in special attack. Spoiler alert, there are very few psychic types I see myself beating. Realistically, what am I supposed to do against psychic powers?
Do me a favor and look up what some of the strongest Gen 1 Pokemon are.
Try and find me a list that doesn't include Alakazam. Base 135 in special attack and base 120 speed. I could try all I want, but there's absolutely no realistic way to beat this thing. I was thinking if I could get some pudding, I could distract it, cause who can resist pudding? And with 2 spoons, come on. No dex entry mentions it likes pudding, but it also doesn't say it doesn't like pudding, so we can leave that idea on the back burner. For now, I'm saying no chance. Machop may not seem threatening. I mean, come on, he's just a little dude. His dex entry even says he's the size of a human child. That being said, in the very same dex entry, it says it could hurl 100 grown-ups, plus a decent moveset, plus a meta type disadvantage. I wouldn't put money on this one. Machoke can lift a dump truck with one hand and a sumo wrestler with one finger. This thing would snap me like a toothpick. Well, we already established what a Machoke would do to me. A champ could probably crush me into a little ball and dribble me around like that one part in Space Jam. Now that part always scared me, like a lot. Needless to say, I would die against a Machamp. Next is Bellsprout. And well, it's a Bellsprout. What do you think? It is carnivorous and supposedly blindingly fast, but it only has base 40 speed. I don't think I'd break a sweat beating this thing. Not to get personal, but I really hate Weepinbell. I always thought it just had one of the worst designs in all of Pokemon. Because of that, I would have loved to say I'd beat it in a fight, But let's just look at these dex entries together. Armed with razor-sharp leaves, it uses toxic pollen to immobilize its enemy and melts the helpless foe with acid. If its prey is bigger than its mouth, it slices up the victim with sharp leaves, then eats every morsel. So, it's one thing that Weepinbell is ugly, it's also terrifying. That dex entry made me hate it even more, actually. Throw a leaf-shaped rock at Weepinbell and what do you get? Victreebel. Did you think Weepinbell's dex entries were a little unnerving? Well, let's hear Victreebell's. Lures prey with the sweet aroma of honey. Swallowed whole, the prey is melted in a day, bones and all. Once ingested into this Pokemon's body, even the hardest object will melt into nothing. Yes, a Victreebel would absolutely kill me. Also, on a side note, did you know Victreebel has only one L at the end of its name? It was due to the 10-character limit the early games had. It's also the same reason Fraligator is missing the O in Gator. I thought that was neat. Okay, this one is tricky. Several dex entries say that if Tentacool is brought on land, it'll dry up like parchment. So, I guess I win. Nah, that's lame. Let's give Tentacool a fair shot. For this one, let's assume he's in a big fish tank. Or maybe we're both in a pool, I don't know. It's 100 pounds, but it's the jellyfish Pokemon. I mean, I wouldn't mess with a regular jellyfish. Plus, read this dex entry from Emerald. It ensnares its foe with 2 long tentacles, then stabs with the poison stingers at their tips. It also has a base 35 in defense, so I'm assuming if I can get a few good hits before it can stab me, I might have a shot. I'm gonna put this at a maybe. Okay, listen to this. Tentacruel has tentacles that can be freely elongated and shortened at will. It ensnares prey with its tentacles and weakens the prey by dosing it with a harsh toxin. Well, I'm boned. Geodude has base 100 defense, base 80 attack, and rock types resist normal type moves. That being said, I could see myself pulling it off. And let me explain why. I could use my size to my advantage and swing one around. They're only 44 pounds, it's totally doable.
It'd be like a hammer toss.
Oh, and in case you hadn't noticed,
He ain't got no legs.
no wonder he has base 20 in speed. I'm gonna put this at probably could. Well, this is a vastly different story. Graveler is the height and weight of a small boulder. I would literally break my hands against it. I don't think I'd die or anything, but there's no way I'm beating it. Golem can withstand literal dynamite blasts. Add on to that base 110 attack and base 130 defense, absolutely zero chance. Quick side tangent. Not only does Ponyta's name not reference its fire typing, but its dex entries don't mention fire until Pokemon Diamond. Seriously, every dex entry beforehand just says how fast it is, how it can jump over the damn Eiffel Tower, and how it has hooves that are 10 times harder than Diamond. Whoa. 10 times harder than Diamond? That's a problem, because it can learn Stomp. It even says it can trample anything flat in little time. I never was scared of Ponyta till today. Add on to that moves like Fire Blast and Body Slam. Yeah, I'm surprised too, but I'm gonna say no chance. Well, I already don't think I'd beat a unicorn in a fight. This is a fire unicorn. And a bigger version of the Pokemon we just established I would not be able to beat, so yeah, no chance. It's a Slowpoke. I could kick it into oblivion and it probably won't even realize till next week. I'm beating it with ease. At first I was intimidated by the 110 defense and 100 special attack, until I read this dex entry.
Lives lazily by the sea. If the shelter on its tail comes off, it becomes a Slowpoke again.
Easy strats. Simply pull off the shelter, it reverts back to a Slowpoke, and up you go! For some reason, I don't see a fight with a Magnemite ending well. I know they're little and nimble, but it can electrocute me, confuse me, paralyze me, and it's Steel type, which resists normal. So unfortunately, I got nothing. I'm saying no chance. Oh, great. Now there's 3 of them. And they induce earaches. Same answer, no chance. What a weird Pokemon. I forget Farfetch'd exists quite often, and I would have no problem beating one. It's little, its stats aren't really anything to piss your pants over. Its moves are okay at best, and it's basically just a duck holding an onion. Yeah, I would beat one, and then I would make a delicious onion soup. Another little ass bird. It doesn't even have wings. It's 4'7" and 86 pounds, which I admit is bigger than I thought a Doduo would be, but I'm still not too worried. Its speed and attack are surprisingly good, but its defense is mediocre. Solid moveset aside, I'm not exactly terrified. I'm pretty confident I could beat it with ease. Okay, I did not know Dodrio was nearly 6 feet tall. So it's similar to an emu, or an ostrich, with 3 heads. It can even run as fast as one. Hey, did you know an ostrich can kill you in a single kick? Overall, I do not see this one happening. I'm saying no chance. It would probably punch me using its other heads like that shit Knuckles does in Sonic Heroes. So, the Stadium 2 Dex entry says Seal is not very mobile on land. It has base 45 in attack, special attack, and speed. Its moves aren't bad. Amazingly, it learns Horn Drill, which is a one-hit KO move. I don't know, I really feel confident I could pull it off. Base 55 defense isn't exactly amazing. Add on to that the limited land mobility, and you have a clean win. As of right now, I'm saying I probably could. If we were to compare Dugong to a real animal, well, obviously a dugong, but because it lives in cold waters, it also bears some similarities to a walrus. Walruses have a very thick skin, so it could be assumed that dugong is the same way. Oh, also it has the ability Thick Fat, so that's also helpful. I'm saying no, I don't think I could beat a dugong. I don't think it would tear me to pieces or anything, but I'm just having a hard time picturing myself beating it. It's over 260 pounds and very thick. I'm saying no chance. Also, side note, can we talk about how cute actual dugongs are? They're so big and squishy, I kinda want one. Now, I always pictured Grimer as being pure goo, but its Ruby Dex entry describes its body as rubbery? Not how I pictured it, but okay. I'll say right off the bat, I'm not liking my chances. Supposedly, it smells too putrid to even touch. I have a pretty sensitive sense of smell, so I might be too busy gagging to even fight.
Yeah, I'm definitely losing, and I'm probably gonna need a trip to the hospital after.
Muck is so smelly, it can cause fainting. Touching it will give me a fever. It's so toxic, even its footprint contains poison. Wait, footprint? Muck has feet? Shelder is a very defensive Pokemon, so I imagine fighting it would be more annoying than anything. Based on its dex entries, it doesn't seem too scary. Plus, it's only 8 pounds, and aside from its defense, its stats are pretty bad. I'm saying I probably could. Wow, Cloyster has a base 180 in defense. Even a missile can't break it. That's insane. Also, I did not know it could shoot spikes out of its shell and stab its opponents. Is Cloyster actually really terrifying? Impenetrable shell, solid moveset, just shy of 300 pounds? There's no way it's happening. I originally was going to skip the entire Ghastly line because I'm a normal type. I literally cannot hit a ghost type. But where's the fun in that? For the sake of the hypothetical, let's say I have the ability Scrappy. Ghastly, unfortunately, is a problem no matter what. Even if he wasn't ghost type, he's gas. He's pure gas. Toxic gas that can cause anyone to faint. Okay, so no chance. Even if I had a gas mask or something, what am I gonna do? Punch gas? Good luck with that. I'm gonna give you a guess as to how Haunter kills you. Is it A, drags you into the shadows, never to be seen again? B, stares into your eyes, paralyzing you with fear and feasting upon your soul? C, surrounds you in toxic gas until it fills your lungs and all of your orifices leak with poison goo? Or D, a little lick. That's right, in one of its earliest dex entries, it says Haunter's lick can sap your life.
You shake constantly until you die.
Well, I don't see this one ending well for me. Okay, Gengar surprisingly has less scary dex entries than Haunter. Okay, still spooky, but fewer literally kills you levels of spooky. But look at this one from Pokemon Sun. Should you feel yourself attacked by a sudden chill, it is evidence of an approaching Gengar. There's no escaping it. Give up. Well, that's pessimistic. Gengar may only be 4'11 and about 90 pounds, but he packs a punch. Base 130 special attack, base 110 speed. Most of its moves can't hit me, but it still has some non-ghost type moves, like Hypnosis and Thunderbolt. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's not happening. I would probably die. Okay, we already established I wouldn't do too well against rock types, but how about a rock type that's 28 feet long, 463 pounds, and can learn Earthquake?
Take a wild guess.
You know, I always thought Drowsy looked like he was dipped in chocolate. Anybody else think that? Its stats aren't exactly amazing, but its moveset is pretty nice. As I've said before, I have no clue what I would do against Psychic. I just imagine it like an instant migraine. If I get a few hits on Drowsy, I'm sure I could pull it off. I mean, it's only 71 pounds, I could probably body slam it. That being said, he may put me to sleep with Hypnosis. Yeah, I'm putting this at a maybe. Man, Hypno gives me the creeps. Okay, supposedly it can put people to sleep in 3 seconds flat using that pendant. But here's an idea. What if I broke that stupid pendant,
Could it still put me to sleep?
Even if it could, it doesn't have that good of special attacks, surprisingly, so I wouldn't be too worried. It's also not too big, so you know what? I'm gonna say maybe.
So, Krabby is just a big crab.
Despite being only 14 pounds, it boasts an impressive 105 in attack and 90 in defense. This is trickier than I thought it would be. How do you approach something with those big-ass pincers? Plus its moveset includes a one-hit KO move, Guillotine. I'm gonna put this at a maybe. There's no maybes with Kingler. Look at the stats, look at the moves. It's way bigger than Krabby, and its large pincer has 10,000 horsepower. That one claw is as strong as 10,000 horses? Yeah, it's not happening. Voltorb is small and speedy, both things I would not want to deal with. Plus, it could literally explode and end the battle anytime it wants. All of its stats outside of its speed aren't too amazing, but a stab Thunderbolt would still hurt like a bitch. I'm not saying I couldn't do it, but it would be a challenge. I'm gonna say maybe. Electrode is literally It also explodes for the love of the game. I have a very hard time seeing myself beating it. I initially devised a strategy to make it explode and then duck for cover, until I realized Explosion has 100% accuracy. There's no escaping this oversized cue ball.
No way I survive against Electrode.
It's fast as shit and explodes for the sheer fun of it. You know, Execute is truly one of my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon. I know it's kinda goofy, but it's that goofiness I live for. As for the fight, I was a little split at first. Execute is more defensive than you might think, but its dex entry does say it has a very durable shell. Plus its Psychic type, which we've said is a big problem. Plus if we're factoring in its Stadium moveset, it knows Explosion and Toxic. But at the same time, Execute is only 5 pounds, and while base 80 defense is pretty good for a Pokemon that isn't evolved, its other stats are only decent at best. I'm gonna say maybe. There's a lot going for me, but also a lot going against me. Executor. 6'7", plus 264 pounds, plus base 125 in special attack, plus stab Mega Drain, plus stun spore, plus L, plus ratio, plus Rectmate, plus GG Easy, plus this post was made by the Executor gang. Yeah, I'm saying no chance. I feel bad because it's like a baby with a dead mother, but empathy is the greatest weakness on the battlefield. Aside from a base 95 in defense, its stats are a complete hot dog water. It's 1'4" and 14 pounds, which means it's about 1/4 the size of Danny DeVito and approximately the weight of the average bowling ball. Set up some pins, use its skull as the finger holes, and go full Pete Weber on it. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Q Bowling. I dedicate this strike to Danny DeVito. We're defeating it with ease. Did you know Marowak has 110 in defense? And look at these moves. How the hell does it know Fire Blast? We're at a strong disadvantage because Marowak literally comes equipped with a weapon. One it can throw like a damn boomerang. Also in Ultra Sun, its dex entry says it can take out a Mandibuzz. Well, I'm definitely weaker than a Mandibuzz, so yeah, no chance.
Haha! I threw that shit before I walked in the room!
You know, when we were kids, my siblings and I would play Smash 64 on Wii Virtual Console. Whenever we would get Hitmonlee in the Pokeball, we always thought he was saying, "Silence!" I don't know, I always thought that was funny. As for fighting one, that's like asking if I could beat Bruce Lee and also he can extend his legs. Yeah, no, there's no chance. Also, quick side tangent. I apologize, but can we talk about how they did my guy Hitmonlee dirty as far as shinies go? His shiny is kinda ugly if you ask me, but it wasn't always like that. In Gen 2, it was still green, but its legs turned a deep purple, creating a beautiful contrast with the neon green. If his shiny still looked like that, I would hunt it in a heartbeat. Hitmonchan can punch through concrete? Just imagine what it would do to my face. Also, fun fact, its fists are not boxing gloves, they're muscle masses. That is pure muscle. I would die, no doubt about it. Also, I'm sorry, another side tangent. Hitmonchan's shiny also got subtly changed. I don't hate Hitmonchan's shiny, but it is a little underwhelming. In Gen 2, its hands don't just turn blue, its whole outfit is blue. This looks really cool if you ask me, and it just stands out more. And because I gave Hitmonlee the same treatment, here's what it would look like in later gens. Let's see, it has a tongue longer than my entire body, and it can cause paralysis. I do not want to get licked by that thing, but it seems inevitable. Interestingly, its Stadium moveset doesn't even include Lick. Why? Hey, we got a Pokemon with a huge tongue in its name, and its dex entries talk about its paralyzing licks, and we have a move called Lick that can paralyze. Got it. How about Strength, Blizzard, Fire Blast, and Thunder? Give this man a true! I'm gonna say I probably could. How many fucking Pokemon can explode? This is getting ridiculous! What I don't get about Coughing is that its dex entries say it's a thin-skinned balloon, and yet it has base 95 in defense. That doesn't really add up, but okay. Its gases cause sniffles, coughing, and teary eyes. Great, it's like a balloon of pepper spray. This is definitely a tricky one, but I'm gonna say I probably could. Cover my nose and mouth with one hand, and next minute I'm playing handball. I'm saying no. It has base 120 defense, a really scary moveset, and I know I said empathy is a weakness, but I'd feel bad for hitting one. It already looks like it lives in constant agony. Every day is filled with seconds that feel like hours, filled with nothing but pure pain and suffering, forced to live off garbage and toxic fumes. It's the very embodiment of everything repulsive with the world. If only it would be so lucky to find a soul merciful enough to end it of its unceasing torture. Also, it knows explosion, so... Well, Rhyhorn is very similar to a real rhino in many ways. And, I don't know, call it a hunch, but I feel like I'd have a hard time beating a real rhino in a fight. So hey, why not make it a rock type? Its dex entry says its charge can go straight through steel and topple buildings. I'm saying no chance. The same Pokemon, but tougher and stronger and smarter. And it can punch holes through boulders, so yeah, no, I would die. So it's fast at running away, has insane HP, and its Stadium moveset is surprisingly pretty crazy. But I'm gonna say I could. Offense isn't exactly its strong suit, so it may take a while, but I could see myself pulling it off. Also, look at these dex entries. The eggs are apparently delicious. Well, I do love eggs. Soft boiled, put it in some ramen, forget about it. Well, damn, now I'm hungry. Speaking of noodles, next up is Tangela.
Tangela is tankier than you might think, and its moveset is pretty good.
It's 77 pounds, which is way heavier than I thought it would have been. I wasn't expecting Tangela to be heavier than Chansey, even if it's just by a pound. Believe it or not, I'm putting this at a maybe. I know, I wanted to say this would be a mop, but I'm not sure it would be. It has Toxic plus Growth, followed by Stab Mega Drain would be insane damage. I'm sure I could get in some good hits, but it's just very tanky, so yeah, maybe. Absolutely not happening. Aside from the fact that its moveset is solid, its stats are well-rounded, and its dex entry says it will literally never give up in a fight, it's 7'3" and 176 pounds. I wonder if that's counting the baby or no. Yeah, I'm saying no chance. Finally, a Pokemon I'm confident I could beat. Although it's not like it put up much of a fight. The scariest thing it could do is spray a mysterious black ink. That may be a bit of a problem, but I'm not too worried. Seadra is everything you'd expect from an Evo. Stronger, better stats, and whoa, wait, hold on. Seadra has poisonous barbs all over its body. Its fin tips leak poison. Well, okay, first of all, I'm saying no chance, but second of all, how come Seadra isn't a poison type? That might have helped it stand out more. As is, it's undeniably one of the more forgettable Gen 1 Pokemon. I know we already have the Poison Seahorse now, but it just feels like a Psyduck situation. It'd be like if you had a Pokemon and the dex entries were like, it lives in the grass, it hides in tree bark, and flowers pop from its head, and then it's a damn normal type or something. Am I nitpicking, or is that really confusing?
Kingdra is really quite tricky. It's part dragon now, so fighting it won't be... Wait a minute. Kingdra was introduced in Gen 2. You don't belong in this video. Scat. Scat, get out of here. Get out. You'll be in the next video, little rascal. Sorry about that. Now where were we? Oh yeah, Goldeen.
I don't like the sound of a horn powerful enough to break through the thickest glass. I mean, sure, its stats aren't anything mind-blowing, and 33 pounds is certainly slammable, but I don't know, the horn... Ugh, if only this was Smash Bros, where Goldeen flops around and does nothing. I'm putting this at a maybe. How do we go from a pretty fish that's literally called the Water Queen to this? Ugh. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate all ugly Pokemon. I love Stunfisk, for example. At least he has charm. Hell, I even like Bruxish more than this thing. Similar to Weepinbell, as much as I'd love to say I'd bodied this thing, there's no way. Its horn can literally break through boulders. I'm saying no chance. Okay, so Staryu over here can regenerate limbs like nobody's business. So even if I manage to tear off one of its appendages, it'll just grow right back. It's quite small and 76 pounds. I guess I could throw it like a big frisbee or something. Its moveset is absolutely cracked for some reason. This is a tough one, I'm gonna say maybe. I'm feeling a bit like a broken record here, but yeah, no chance. Sorry if I'm getting repetitive, but every evolution is just a stronger version of the previous Pokemon. So if the previous Pokemon is a maybe, the evolution is probably going to be no chance. Plus, Starmie gains a Psychic typing and its special attack is a clean 100. I know a lot of people would probably want to punch a Mr. Mime in the face, but it's actually always been one of my favorites since I was a kid. That being said, I would not be able to beat one in a fight. Yes, it being Psychic type with a base 100 special attack is a factor, but I was more put off by the creating Psychic barriers thing. It could wall itself behind a barrier, and then there's nothing I'd be able to do. It could even attack me using Psychic from behind the barrier, so yeah, no chance. I think we're mostly past the Pokemon I could beat with minimal effort. Scyther can move faster than the human eye can track. Plus its sides can cut through thick logs, so it would cut through me like I'm a warm marshmallow. Guaranteed death. Jinx, much like Mr. Mime, is a relatively unpopular Pokemon that I've always been fond of. I'm not 1000% sure why she's Ice type, but Psychic typing alone probably nuts for the win. Plus her hip wiggles are literally contagious. She could start dancing, get me going, and then boom. I'm saying no chance. Have you ever seen the knockout animation for Jinx in Pokemon Stadium? Look at this. Where the fuck did she go? Electabuzz is surprisingly fast and it has some good moves. It's only 66 pounds? I gotta admit, I'm surprised that Tangela of all things is heavier. That just sounds wrong. It says it's constantly emitting electricity and has the ability static, so I don't love my chances here. There isn't any dex entries that say how strong it is, so I'm gonna say maybe. Sure, it's very likely I'll get paralyzed, but it's not a guarantee. Magmar or Boober, on the other hand, would kill me. It has a body temperature of 2200 degrees, and it spews out intensely hot flames. I wouldn't even be able to get close to this thing. It would melt my hand off if I even tried to punch it. No way, no how. Oh, awesome. A giant bug with horns that won't stop pinching until its foe is torn in half. Guaranteed death. Well, there's no way I'm beating a real bull, so yeah, no chance. It's a Magikarp. It's the original joke Pokemon, and it only knows Splash. It's getting cooked. Maybe literally. Great, that Magikarp I beat is back for revenge. Don't worry, this is an easy fight. Just look at the Pokedex. The atrocious Pokemon. See, we're fine. It's atrocious. It sucks. Okay, no joke. It's over 500 pounds, over 20 feet long, and it has the power to ravage a city. Guaranteed death. Another sea monster? Well, that's just fantastic. Lapras is bulky and huge, but apparently it doesn't prefer to fight. Well, there's no way I'm beating one anyway. It could sing me to sleep and then body slam. Keep in mind, it's 485 pounds, so that's a big body. I'm saying no chance. I would say guaranteed death, but it's said to be gentle, so call it wishful thinking. Ditto. Now this is an interesting one. This question basically boils down to, could I beat myself in a fight? I mean, we'd be 100% evenly matched. Same height, same weight. I'm gonna say I probably could. Ditto could copy me all he wants, but what it can't copy is the indomitable human spirit. So Eevee is a little cat, dog, thing. One that isn't exactly threatening before it evolves. Its stats are weak, it's super tiny and frail. Yeah, this is free, defeated with ease. So this one is a little trickier for sure. It says its body composition is similar to water. It's still only 64 pounds, and aside from Stab Surf, its moveset isn't too scary. I think I could pull it off. I've had a lot of practice against Surf with those wave pools at the water park, so we're good. Hey, remember what I said about Raichu? Humans have been reported to die with as little as 42 volts of electricity. Jolteon can generate 10,000 volts. Again, we're dead. We are cooked thanks to the dex entries yet again. And when I say cooked, I mean literally cooked. Its fire breath can reach 3,000 degrees. We are dead. The dex entries didn't really help too much. Most of them just say it's the first man-made Pokemon, and it's made of computer code and whatnot. It doesn't comment much on its combat capabilities. Its stats are very meh, but it does have a decent moveset. Emphasis on decent, not fantastic. Conversion is pretty much useless since I'm a normal type. Sharpen is necessary since its attack isn't all that great. I'm gonna say I probably could. My biggest concern is Psychic, but aside from that, this seems like a total cakewalk. Hey, since Porygon is computer code,
Wouldn't it be sick if it made a cameo in Mega Man Battle Network?
it's only 16 pounds, but its defense stat is quite impressive. It has a really good moveset, but it's slow as hell. This is definitely a tough one. Again, none of its dex entries really mention it being too much of a threat combat-wise, so I'm gonna say maybe. Also, Omanite's Silver Sprite is my new favorite thing in the history of anything ever. While amazing, it got a fighting type move in its arsenal. That aside, its teeth are so strong it could break through a Shelder's shell. If it gets a hold of me, it's over, so I might want to keep my distance. Then again, I can't really do that since it has Hydro Pump. I'm gonna say no chance. Kabuto is very similar to Omanite. Same type, they're both wee little lads. They both have Double Team for some reason. Kabuto is also quite defensive, which of course is a problem. Its moves are good, but it's definitely more of a physical attacker. I don't know, I'll put it at a maybe 2.
Also, on a side note, everybody always talks about the same bad Gen 1 sprites.
Everyone always dogs on Hitmonchan or Mew. Yeah, those sprites are terrible, but can we talk about how bad Kabuto's is? If I was a kid playing Pokemon Red and I recovered this thing from a fossil, I wouldn't even know what I was looking at. Luckily, as with most of the bad sprites, the one from Yellow is way better. Did you know Kabutops is yet another Pokemon with a really disturbing dex entry? Let's read it together, shall we? A slim and fast swimmer. It slices its prey with its sharp sickles and drinks the body fluids. That thing is gonna kill me, stuff me, and probably hang me on its mantle as it enjoys some Crown Royal. Oh, I would have no problem beating an Aerodactyl. Oh, what's this? Thank you, Freddy. Let's get the old reading glasses on. A ferocious prehistoric Pokemon that goes for the enemy's throats with its serrated saw-like fangs. You don't suppose wearing my best turtleneck would help, would you? Well, at least Kabutops will have a drinking buddy. Okay, Snorlax weighs over 1,000 pounds, has base 110 attack, and even if I did somehow weaken it enough, it would just use rest and heal right up. No chance. I'm sorry if it's lame, but we're gonna lump all 3 birds together, because my answer is the same for all 3. Hell to the no! Articuno can create a blizzard just by flapping its wings, Zapdos can create lightning bolts just by flapping its wings, and Moltres scatters Ember with every flap of its wings. Wow, they all kill me just by flapping their wings. Those are some flappy birds. No? Nobody thought that was funny. Hey, wait, what are you doing in my house? Ow, stop it! Ow, you're hurting me! Ow. I mean, its stats are mediocre, it's only 7 pounds, and it doesn't even have arms. Even its dex entries don't make it seem too threatening. I'm gonna say I probably could. Well, according to its yellow dex entry, it has lots of aura. I mean, it's clearly not aura maxing, but it has some, I guess. Oh, also, did you know it can fly? Because I didn't. A giant flying snake, that's also a dragon. Its stats may not be amazing, but I still strongly doubt I could beat this thing. It would run circles around me, or slither circles, or I don't know. It's not a legendary, but it's still a pseudo-legendary. One that has insane stats, it's 463 pounds, and it can fly. I wanted to give myself a fair shot, but let's be serious, it's a frickin' Dragonite. Also, it can circle the whole globe in only 16 hours? I guess we know which Pokemon Santa uses. Mewtwo, the original strongest Pokemon. Move over, Dragonair. We got the primo Aura Farmer of Gen 1. One that I would absolutely body. I know what you're thinking. There's no way, it's so powerful. But hear me out. For I have my reasons why I think I would absolutely beat Mewtwo. For starters, Mewtwo has minimal experience. I, however, have lots. Mewtwo uses a controller, while I use a fight stick. And last of all, I heard Mewtwo is a Vega main. Do you know how trash Vega is in Ultra 4? I mean Able, so that's why I would absolutely beat Mewtwo in Ultra Street Fighter 4. It's really no contest. He's a total...
I thought we were talking about real fighting.
Oh, in a real fight? Don't be ridiculous. Mewtwo would kill me. I really wanted to do something grand and epic for the final one, but it's Mew. We've already established I don't do well against Psychic types, and look at these moves. Mew may be small, but I do not stand a chance. And there you have it. Me versus every Gen 1 Pokemon. I sincerely hope you had as much fun watching this video as I had making it. If you enjoyed the video, please share it with a friend who's always saying he could beat Goku. Or your local mail carrier. Or your grandma. I don't care. Anyone you want, really. Keep it positive, folks.
I've got to do some Pokemon of me before somebody thinks I'm some Pokemon-hating maniac.
Are you a little guy? Yeah, you're a little guy. And you're a big fella. You're a cutie for duty. Don't worry, fellas. There's enough love for all of you.